What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Here we are with another reaction. 5 ways British and American grocery stores are very different. I'd love to dive in and find out exactly what makes our stores different. However, before we do that, if you guys happen to enjoy the video, please don't forget to smash that subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, and if you'd like to support the channel by becoming a member, all you gotta do is hit that join button to receive your exclusive benefits. Let's get into it.
So next time you're in the other country, why not play a game of, oh look, it's that thing we have back home, but they call it something wildly different. Isn't this fun? Hello, I'm Lawrence, and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, and one of those memos pertains to grocery stores, or should I say, supermarkets, because that's what we call them in the UK. Weirdly, I've been doing this channel now for about nearly 5 years, and I don't think I've really ever touched on the major differences between grocery stores and supermarkets. That is probably because the nauseating experience of walking around said stores is second only to malls. I'll be honest with you, we get our shopping delivered. Haven't had to walk into a grocery store in about 3 years. But I did do
3 years? God, you living nice, my boy. Nah, that's really awesome. I'd love to have all my stuff delivered. But at the same time, sometimes you want to get out, get it about, look, go down some grocery store aisle, see what they got. But my boy said I ain't trying to do all that. Y'all bring it to this address. Appreciate you.
Do some research, so it's fine. And so without further ado, let's take a look at 5 big ways that British and American grocery stores / supermarkets are so very, very different.
Let's do it.
Yes, layout. As you can probably imagine, the layout of American grocery stores tends to be slightly different to that of Britain, but that makes sense. I mean, the United States itself is laid out quite differently to Britain. I don't just mean it's a different shape, I mean it incorporates different shapes. I did a video on this. Basically, America is obsessed with rectangles. Anyway, that's not connected to today's video. I think this difference might have changed a little bit in recent years. For instance, it's a common practice in both countries now to put the fresh veg right near the entrance section to give this illusion of health as you walk in, and then you walk over to the chocolate and everything falls apart. But other than that, as you're walking around the stores in both countries, you will see the odd difference, sometimes very odd difference. So for instance, in some British grocery stores / supermarkets, you might find the eggs not in the dairy section. What's that all about? And since I've moved to America, that seems to make sense, right? It's with the cheese, it's with the milk, the whipped cream. And sort of genre-wise, that does make sense. But sometimes you will find things like eggs just, hanging around with the beans in England, and not refrigerated either. That's a shocking thing for a lot of Americans.
Very different.
See that. The white.
We watch videos about the eggs. We know the difference. They have a different way of cleaning the eggs, or America has a different way of cleaning the eggs. But I think that all stems back to the conditions that they keep the chickens in the U.S. and the conditions that the chickens are in the UK are. I mean, the UK keeps them in a lot better conditions. So the US is more wary of bacteria on the eggs, so they clean them. Whereas the US, so they clean them. In the UK, they're not that wary of it because the chickens are kept in good conditions, and they have that protective outer layer on the eggs that actually keeps the bacteria, whatever they're scared of, away. US, they don't have that layer anymore, so you have to actually refrigerate them immediately after they get cleaned. So just different cleaning processes due to different conditions these chickens are raised in and have eggs in.
Wine section might be found in a different spot to where you'd find it in US grocery stores. Across both countries, though, it's always going to differ, especially depending on the actual store itself. So keep an eye out for that. And kind of connected to layout is our next entry.
I mean, and then layout, it just makes there 2 different countries. Of course, they're going to have grocery stores layouts that are different to each other. I mean, the UK's been around for a lot longer than the US. They had their layouts. In the US, I mean, I'm used to the US layout, so I wouldn't change it. And I'm sure the UK wouldn't change it. 2 different countries. All right, but he's about to bring in another reason that ties in.
I've said it before and I'll say it again, size is not everything, though you probably wouldn't believe that if you saw the difference between UK supermarkets and American grocery stores. I used to think as a kid that whenever my mum would drag me around Asda, which is one of our major supermarkets, that particular supermarket was absolutely huge. And then I moved to America and I was equally dragged around Walmart. And in recent
Yeah.
years, the comparison between the two has become quite apt, and that is because Walmart owns Asda. But the fact remains that Asda, most of them
Really?
anyway, are not located within their own zip code, postcode. Whereas Walmart, it might as well have its own zip code. They're absolutely huge. They're so large, in fact,
They
that
do
just
get
walking
huge.
around the perimeter is enough for your weekly exercise. Which I suppose is good considering all of the calories that you're about to buy. And because Walmart, and to a lesser extent Kroger, are absolutely massive, that means you have the following.
Variety, yeah, the grocery stores in the U.S. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can find like smaller grocery stores, but yeah, Walmart's, the supermarkets, neighborhood Walmarts are going to be a little bit smaller, but the supermarkets are usually going to be pretty dang big because they sell everything from groceries to electronics to toys to puzzles to clothes to everything you could ask for. They got it in a Walmart.
In the United Kingdom, nationwide, you've got the likes of Sainsbury's, Tesco, Morrison's, Asda. So we have choice in that regard, but once you get inside the stores, we probably don't have quite as much to offer as the United States, who, for instance, provide you with about 27 varieties of Coca-Cola. I haven't tried them all.
Yeah,
in fact, I've barely
they
tried
really
any of them,
will.
but the rule seems to be that the brighter the packaging, the more varieties there'll be, and also the brighter the packaging, the least healthy it'll be. So to reiterate, American aisles have more variety than British aisles. That was a joke, wordplay. British Isles, you got it. We're good. Walmart has such variety. You can even buy auto parts. They're usually at the back of the store, which is not the best place between you and me, because what if you're buying a big hefty tire? How are you going to get that out? You could roll it, that's true. In fact, that sounds amazing. I might do that next time I'm in Walmart. I've just remembered I'm never going back in a Walmart, so we're good. And I don't drive.
Most of the Walmarts that I've been to, I don't know if they're all like this because I haven't been to all the Walmarts in the world. But the auto section usually has a entrance and exit of its own. So you can park close to the auto section, come in through that entrance, and actually just roll it right to you. It's very, very close to the parking lot, and you can come out of that one if you're getting like auto parts. So if you were to get a tire, you can. Well, usually they probably put it on for you, but because they also have like a auto garage thing at Walmart. I don't trust it. I don't think it's the best. It don't got good reviews. But if you were to get a tire there, you just roll it out through the entrance exits of the auto parts. Yeah, you got your. I forgot about that. You do have an auto section. As I told you, any and everything that you could want and ask for, you get. You got a gardening section. You got a freaking grilling section. You got any and everything you could ask for is out of Walmart. It is out of Walmart.
And speaking of purchases, once you get to the till/cash register, there's another chief difference between our two countries. I have to admit, this one got me long before I moved to the United States. When I was visiting the state of Maine in 2004, I walked into a music shop, as you do. I much prefer music shops to supermarkets anyway. And I purchased a ukulele. I think I talked about this very recently. And in doing so, of course, I looked at the price. $15, which is cheap. Don't ever do that again. It was good while it lasted, but it didn't last very long.
Of course
so I took it to the counter expecting to pay exactly that in $3, $5 bills, only to be told, $17.32. I mean, I'm making that number up in hindsight. I didn't really get where that additional $2 came from. And it turns out that sales tax is applied at the point of sale, whereas in the United Kingdom, what you see on the price tag in the aisle itself is exactly what you'll pay for that item. So there's no surprises when you get to the till. I should say that, I think in England, even when I'd go grocery shopping, I didn't calculate in my head each item as I went along. So I never really had a great idea about what that total was going to be anyway. It's usually when you're just purchasing single items, this problem first arises. But anybody that's visiting America from the UK who usually doesn't give a second thought to VAT, you will have to give thought to sales tax, which is kind of the equivalent here of VAT. And like I said, that sales tax is not applied to the whole store before you even go in. You'll see it applied to your receipt after the fact. It's not a huge deal. I got used to it, after a couple of years. One thing I'm still getting used to, though, is our final entry.
I would just like to say a shout out to the UK. America, that's a part where America can take notes. Put the final tag or final price on the tag. Don't have us guesstimating how much everything is going to be once we get to the register. Just put it on the tag. The UK does that perfectly. And if it was like that, I would be calculating in my head exactly how much everything's going to cost before I got to the register, because it'd be easy to do. I will always, every time that difference comes up, I will always stand firmly on the UK side of the fence. Of that's just a better way of doing it. They do it a better way. Don't have your customers guessing. Put it on the freaking tag.
Yes, brand differences, and I'm not talking about, this particular brand that you simply can't get an equivalent of in the UK. No, I'm talking about the exact same object, or typically food item, that has the same font and everything and look about it, but a completely different name. Take, for instance, Axe versus Lynx. Yeah. They're deodorants, don't eat them. I'm not suggesting these are all food items, but if you
brand,
are a 14-year-old boy,
owned by the same brand, right?
Or Lynx. They are exactly the same thing. They both have an X in it, much like an inordinate amount of brand differences, actually. You've got TJ Maxx versus TK Maxx. You've got ExxonMobil versus Esso. You've got Dove versus Galaxy. Alexa, what are they going to change your name to? I don't have Alexa. That was just a joke. But if you're from the US and you go over to the UK and you're walking around the shopping aisles and you're looking out for crisps/potato chips and you see one that looks a little bit like Lay's, Lay's, the American crisp company, it'll be called Walker's, but it has the exact same font. Everything else about it is the same, except for some of the flavors, bear that in mind. And some of the chocolate seems to live in an entirely different universe. Literally, in some cases, like I said before, the British Galaxy bar is Dove in America, Milky Way is Three Musketeers, and Mars is Milky Way. It's all one star cluster of monumental differences. And of course, there are absolutely loads. So next time you're in the other country, why not play a game of, oh, look, it's that thing we have back home, but they call it something wildly different. Isn't this fun? You might get bored after a while. But send me your pictures. It will be amazing. That's it for this episode. Let me know in the comments below some of the observations you've made over the differences between a British supermarket and an American grocery store. In the meantime, if you haven't had the chance to do so, please subscribe to my channel so that my videos don't get lost in the pond. And a big shout out to all my patrons, without whom none of this would be possible, from the writing to the research to the exercise in Walmart. If you would like to become a patron of Lost in the Pond, you can do so at patreon.com/lostinthepond. And of course, anybody that does so will get access to my secret weekly live stream, and anybody that pledges $5 or more a month will get access to not only that, but my secret podcast and more.
Nice.
Until next time, happy shopping. Bye. Thank you for watching.
I feel like, that's really interesting about the brand differences. Same brand, just called different things in different countries. Like, I guess that just fits. The name fits that country, and that's how it's going to be done. But it's just interesting to kind of see these differences between British and American grocery stores. But again, two different countries, although similar in many ways, very different in a lot of other ways. So the grocery stores are no different. Let me know what you guys think about this video in the comment section. And if you happen to enjoy, please don't forget to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up. Check out the next one. I'll see you guys next time.